Hello everyone, and welcome to the IntervYOUs, a series where we interview different people about their personal experiences with body and self-image. Today, our special guest is my longtime friend, Natalie Brueggemann, who is 11 years old. She's a sixth grader, and she's from Pittsburgh, Kansas. She's actually our youngest ever interviewee on the IntervYOUs, and so I thought it would be a wonderful time to interview her and get her perspective on body image for people her age. And it's also scientifically proven that it is so important to start educating people as young as Natalie and even younger about the importance of positive self-image so they grow up with self-confidence. So Natalie, thank you so much for being here today. I would love it if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am an actor, and I really am excited about that because I just got cast in A Christmas Carol.
Congratulations.
And next week I'm auditioning for, thank you. I am auditioning for Pollyanna next week.
I know that you are very active in your community and that you started your own charity organization called Be Kind Kids. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how you started it?
Well, we started it by one day. We went through a drive-thru and our mom suggested that we pay for the person behind us. So we did, and a couple of days later I decided that I wanted to do a bigger day and try it out and do more things like that to see what it was like. And eventually that started this club, as you said, called Be Kind Kids. And it's a day where we just go around town and we'll do nice things. And we'll go into the dollar store and put some money on some boxes or toys for little kids to pick up. And then it's already paid for them. Or we'll go to the laundromat and fill all the laundry machines with quarters.
When you are at school and you hear other girls talking negatively about themselves and saying mean things about themselves, how do you handle the situation and make it better?
Well, some girls do talk negative about themselves and they're just like, oh, you guys are so pretty and I'm so ugly. And that makes me feel sad, and it just doesn't make me feel good that they think of that about themselves. Usually I tell them that they are beautiful, and then I start to change the subject about something about school, or if they think the test was hard, or if they think the quiz was hard, or what homework we have.
So, Natalie, one of the tools that my program teaches is called a U-turn, and that's when we take a negative thought and we completely switch it into a more positive one. And I wanted to ask about a time where you were in a low point in your life, or you were having negative self-thoughts, and you were able to switch them into more positive ones.
Well, I was at a pageant a couple of months ago, and I did have my hair loss coming up by then, which is alopecia, and I lose my eyelashes and eyebrows, and it made me self-conscious of how I looked, and also in acting it makes me more self-conscious of how I look because people are looking for how you look.
So you just mentioned that you have a condition called alopecia. Can you please go maybe a little bit more depth of what that is, and can you tell us how it's affected you and potentially your self-confidence?
Well, like I said, my self-confidence, it's a hair loss disease, and I am lucky that I haven't lost my hair on my head, but I have lost my eyebrows and eyelashes. But how it's affected me is that when I'm doing stuff that are important to me, some people will look at how I look and they'll ask, and then sometimes I just have to tell them. But one way that I overcome that is that my friends help me, and that's how I know that they're my true friends, but they help me know that it's okay.
Can you please go into a little bit more detail about the symptoms and what induces alopecia, and if you've ever had an instance where you've had to solve it?
Well, what causes my eyelashes and eyebrows to fall out is that when I'm stressed about a big test or about a big school day or a big party, they'll start to fall out, and then some people will pull me to the side and ask what it is, and I'll just straight up tell them that it is a hair loss disease, and then they'll understand, and they won't bring it up to anyone else, which I think is really nice. And some ways that I have learned how to cure it is with essential oils, which really helps. And then I also use eyelash and eyebrow growth.
So, Natalie, I would love to learn more about what you have taken away from with having alopecia and what you've learned and some strategies that you have come up with to manage your stress.
What I've learned about my alopecia is that it's made me have more empathy on other people. And some ways that I handle my stress is that I'll take some days to myself and I'll go on runs or read a book or watch some TV. But then when I go back to school, I can't help it when I start to get stressed.
You mentioned that people ask you about it. Is there a certain way that you would prefer to be asked about it or the subject about your alopecia to be brought up?
I prefer to be asked about it in private and that they don't bring it up in front of a bunch of people.
Natalie, thank you so much for coming on the show today and for being the youngest ever interviewee and giving us your amazing perspective. You are so brave. If people want to reach you and learn more about you on any social media, where can they find you?
You can reach me on my Facebook account called Natalie Brueggemann. At a point in my life, I felt like I wasn't being cared for and no one really was paying attention to me. And then I went to a camp called Mix, which is a church camp. And there they taught me about how God is always with me and He's always caring for me and He always loves me. And that made me focus on what was good about God and not what was bad about the world. And that led me to getting baptized.
This has been another one of the interviews. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.